What's going on, my beautiful people? The cloud, the cube, and the cross. Let's break down this digital reality, this augmented reality that we are vibrating in. This is the introduction to the new series that starts on November the 1st. Cost is $2.79 for the book and the audio. We'll separate the series. Originally, I was going to do the new and the old together, but we'll break down and talk about the problem. Then we will break down the solution. Probably spend 2, maybe 3 days on the first book and series, and then 2 or 3 days on the second. Yeah, we'll make it one cost instead of two payments of $2.79. We'll just do the one payment of the $2.79 for all you late bloomers. But we want to break this down so that way we're all on the same page so we understand the big picture. So what's the purpose behind this? What's the reason? Well, the purpose and the reason behind this is to understand that we live in a frequency, waveform, vibration, or what some people call a simulation. Now, that doesn't mean that it's not real, because it is real. That's why we're here. We're here to learn how to create our own simulated virtual reality game, if you want to use that term. That just simply means your thoughts have an effect on the ether or subatomic particles. Since your thoughts have an effect on the ether and subatomic particles, there are some frequencies, waves, and vibrations that's more powerful than others. That just simply means that you have this ability to take your power back. So your power, my power, has been taken from us by this ancient deity, if you use that term, called Saturn, under the augmentation of the El, or the Elohim, or the Elyon. So the Elyon is the alien, or aliens. That's what we call it. And so when we look at, for example, the cube, we're going to be breaking that down because we're talking about the cross, how folding a cross gives us a cube. So when you unfold the cube, it gives us a cross. So the cross and the cube are the same thing. So Islam, remember, is part of the Arab or the Abrahamic religion. But inside of the cross and the cube is something called the tesseract. So we're going to be breaking down the tesseract, if you want to use that term. Again, these are all terms that are interchangeable, depending upon the person that you talk to. But what everything is about is controlling your chi, or your watts, or your wattage, or your frequency. So this is the inner T, the inner T, the inner T. When we get the word entity, the inner T is the tesseract. The T, that's how we get Tesla. Tesla is short for tesseract. Now, the reason why all of this is so important, because that's how they keep us inside of time. So the man of sin, or the man of sign, so they use pharmakeia, or what we call medicine, to keep you inside of the sign or sin. So the man of sin. That's where we get Christianity from. All of this is part of the tesseract. This is part of controlling your wattage. This is a part of controlling your chi. So the whole purpose of this entire series is so that way you can take back this control of your watts, your frequencies, your waves, your vibrations, your inner chi, your entity, and all of your ability is determined by your inner chi, your inner chi, your inner chi. That's why Tesla, Nikola Tesla, and Tesla, the automobile, Elon Musk, all of these are the same frequency, for lack of a better term, which is it's a control system to keep you from being you. The whole point of this is for you to understand the system, how religion is being used as a control system. That's the cloud, and it's been digitized. That just simply means that in order to affect your matter, I got to control your data. That's digital. So if I want to affect, aka control, someone's matter, I'm going to affect the accumulation of their data, how we accumulate data. Now, you notice what's going on in the world today? Man, there's so much going on. Everybody's so busy. Everybody's so bombarded. Nobody has time because of The meaning of the soul Aman, Asal Am on, is how to turn on the arm of the soul or the sun. Soul arm on. When you tap into the frequency, the wave, the verb of how to turn on your soul, that's the purpose of the series. The purpose of the series is understanding the meaning, why his story has been changed so that we're not able to connect the dots. We cannot see the forest because there's a bunch of trees in the forest, and they limit us from connecting to the new Jerusalem, the new cells inside of your soul. So that's the cloud. The cloud is this digital frequency, wave, and vibration that controls your mass or your matter. That's the digital cloud. We've been digitized by augmented reality. This augmented reality affects our mentality. So our mentality can affect augmented reality. That's the game. So there's a war going on to keep you out of the new Jerusalem. So that's a whole nother series. And so instead of combining them into one, we'll take our time. We'll go through all of the frequencies, all of the waves, all of the verbs, all of the vibrations, so that way you are able to truly see behind the curtain. That's what this series is about. The first thing that we're going to be doing during this series is we're going to really break down the cloud. Next, we're going to break down the cube. And lastly, we will break down what most of us have, which is the cross. And I will reveal, explain, illuminate, and simplify to you how the cross and the cube and Saturn and Satan are all the exact same frequency, wave, verb, and vibration. This will be, once again, we've attacked this understanding from many different angles. We've talked about this many times before. This will not be our first adventure down this trail of understanding how everything that seems different is the same Kaaba Allah. It's the same Kaaba Allah. Allah. It's the same Kaaba. Kaaba, again, means his spirit and soul based upon Allah. And it's this ability to over and understand the Kaaba Allah, the Kaaba Ankh. So Ankh is all of Egyptology. So even Egyptology, everything that we have on this planet is part of the cube. It's part of Saturnalia. It's part of Saturn. The inability for us to connect the dots between the black cube of Saturn and Satan. We'll get the word the tea leaf, which is the black cube that's on the head of all Orthodox Jews. And if you unfold the cross, or if you fold the cross, you get the cube. And it's extremely important because most of us, again, we don't have, and it's not that we don't have, I should say, it's just difficult because it's not something that's expressed, every day in mainstream media. Like if I was to do this series online, I would get, banned, my account would be deleted, because I've already tried it before. And everybody has different pieces of the puzzle, even myself. So I'm just coming at it at a different piece of the puzzle. And it's interesting because there's a part of the brain, the bone inside of your skull, and then there's a bone in your pelvis that they take when people transition, especially if you are a melanated person, because they over and understand the power that's inside of your bones. Because the bones is the solidifying of your tone. So I doubt I get into some of the cannibalism or the cannibalism and why they torture, especially babies, to get a certain hormones and chemicals inside of the blood, so that way it taints the meat, if you want to use that term, and it affects the bones, because I got to get you in a specific tone. That tone is fear. That fear keeps you here, keeps you near. They feed, whoever they are, off of our fear, because it affects the ether. It affects your ability to operate and delve into the new Jerusalem, to oscillate and vibrate in the solution. You remember that's what baptism means. You're supposed to immerse your brain in a specific solution. And so the cross, the cube, all of this gets into cymatics. Now remember, this is everything that we've been taught. Everybody, that the Bible says, there's none righteous, no, not one. So even in telling you this, my job is to ask myself, what part of this isn't true? What part of what we are expressing to you today isn't 100% accurate? And the goal is to get into what I call, again, cymatics, and understand emanations. These emanations is how sonar, where we get the word bioluminescence, where there's sonar luminescence, is how sound creates specific states, creates specific waves, creates specific vibrations, creates what we call auto. So no matter what, no matter what part of the world you're in, no matter what country you're from, no matter where you go, we're all under the same conceptual spell of Saturn. And so Saturn is Satan. And so no matter how you slice it and dice it, everybody try to come up with different things to say that, well, this is it. I'm the only one on the planet that got it. Well, the entire template, the entire temple, the skull, the bones, everything has been hijacked by Saturnalia. And so this series goes way beyond, again, everything that we've been taught. It gets into the horned tortoise or the horned taurus, which is again cymatics, which gets into the creator, which is what they call the creator, comes from the word Crete, where we get the word Cretan, where we get the word Christian. And so no matter what frequency, wave, vibration that you're operating in, you're still a part of Horus. Even the word create, even the word crescent, even the word creation is all Cretan. It's all Creston. It's the bull, it's the moon, it's the mentor. It's if I'm your minister, if I'm a mentor, if I'm your mentor, look at the word, mentor, I'm going to mentor you. It's the bull and the man's body, that same demon that accompanied me the whole time I was a kid. And I was afraid. I couldn't understand why I kept saying the minotaur, why I became a minister, why I became a mentor. All of this is inside of my frequency, wave, and vibration, where this goes beyond the average Negro's ability to overstand. We too busy, man. Nobody has time. Everybody, now don't get me wrong, I like to party and hard and live the dream more than anybody. Nobody parties harder than me. I posted this picture that was perfect. It talks about I forgot the actor's name, and he said that the first 60 years of his life was research. We don't start living until 60. And it's crazy because even me, I sit and I talk to people all the time, man, and it's like I think about my own personal life. Remember, man, I'm not trying to point fingers at nobody. I didn't do shit until I turned 60. So I see people and they're not doing shit either. But I just look at myself, like I said, when you point one finger somebody else that's four fingers pointing back at yourself. So I'm not trying to act like I'm God's gift to the planet. I'm just expressing, exposing, and expanding to everybody on this call that no matter what your frequency wave are, no matter how great and how powerful and how, intellectual you think you are, man, you just scratching the surface. This shit is so deep. And I've been doing this shit for 60 years, close to it. And the more I research, the more I realize, like, damn. The moment I thought that, okay, this is it, that's just another minotaur. That's just another mini star. That's just another M-E-N. That's another moon. All of those words are the same. They are designed so that way you continue to come up lame. That's the point. The point is that you think that, oh yeah, I got it, man. I'm the only one. The Bible says that there's none righteous, no, not one. All history has been documented. Manipulated. So it is the winner of wars that writes the history books. So no matter what we got, if you I put a lot of emphasis on, creating, manifesting, all that's Luciferian as well. Because it's all part of this low vibrational system. And so you should be asking the same thing that I ask. What is the formula to exit the technogrammaton to get outside of the four corners of the pyramid so that way we can operate above, we can operate in singularity? We can get out of this is raw L system because ISIS raw L is still a part of the same system. It's still a part of, so everything, when I say everything, I mean everything on this planet, the universe is made up of music. But this music is a manipulation of the one music. And so no matter what you get, it's still a part of the problem because everything is a part of the cube. And the cube is just a folded cross. And so this is a harmonic structure that manipulates subatomic particles. That's what Metatron's cube is. And so when we look at the tesseract, when we break all of this stuff down, we're going to get into what is called the unified harmonic, field of breaking that down and understanding, okay, all of this is vibration, it's frequencies, it's part of the manipulation of the nine ether. There are some frequencies on this planet, we call those people, black people, melanated people. And so those, for whatever reasons, our entire genetic structure is totally different from other races. So our entire biorhythm, everything is totally different. So when you study cymatics, you look at, okay, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cube or density and frequencies, waves and vibrations. And so now, but you got to ask yourself, even with that makes you a fit extension for this dimension. So we got to go further down the rabbit trail to get to what we're going to be breaking down when we get into the second part of this series. Because remember, it's two parts. First part starts on the first, cost is $279. We're going to be breaking down $297. We're going to be breaking down, again, the most important thing, and that's the cloud. The cloud is this digitized reality. And the cloud, the rules of the cloud, the harmonic structure of the cloud, the way that I can control matter with data, it's crazy. Everything is digitized. There's a reason why this holographic fractal universe can be controlled or manipulated with data. That creates, again, data is just little particles, but these particles are like paralyzed frequencies. It's paralyzed. That's why it's a particle. So these particles are nothing but paralyzed or slowed down or dumbed down frequencies, but they're falling. So our job is to elevate instead of tolerate, which is the second part of the series. So as we go through this, then we got to get into the part, where do I get the proof from? Like, we need scientific evidence about the cloud. So they call it the metaverse. So we also get into the metaverse. We're going to try to wrap it up in 3 days, go through each one of them, and then we'll take a break and then get into the solution, which is the new heaven, the new earth, and the new Jerusalem. But we got to break down the cloud, the cube, and the cross. Because there's a synthetic God that uses what we call data. And that data controls manipulate, if you want to use that term, people's matter. That's what it's called, bioelectricity. That's your aura. So your aura, we got to crack the bioelectrical code in order for us to get out of and take back this wireless body area network. And we got to really understand metamaterials. And how does this that was discovered make us a cyborg? I think about all of the movies, especially all the movies that talk about zombies. It's like that was a whole bunch of movies that, series and all of this stuff that talk about zombies. That is their goal, the reinvention of the human race. But it's already done. So we got to talk about Project Bluebird and some of these other projects that happened way back in the 50s that brought about this electronic control, this electronic demonic control of our cognitive operations by introducing these different patterns and by manipulating our food, by tapping in and activating this Luciferian frequency that keeps us trapped in this low vibrational dimension. All of this, brothers and sisters, this series is going to be a little shocking. Not because of the information, but just because of how well they have set up and structured the brain-computer interface, so that way your brain and their computer that's on Saturn, will put it that way, this high-tech environment that they have created that allows them, whoever they are, to use their biosensors to control your biology. And so we got to take back, if that's possible, our ability. We got to make changes. All of this starts with understanding that your DNA contains libraries and libraries of information. And so they have used or developed this synthesis, this ability to tap into the carrier waves that match the smart devices in your home inside of your phone. These carrier waves match the human body. When I first started researching this, the thing that really blew my mind was, why would they set up technology to operate on the exact same frequency as the human body? Initially, I thought it was an accident 30 years ago. Now, all of these smartphones, smart computers, smart TVs, everything operates on the same carrier waves as the body. To interfere with the brain and the body's ability to carry out its natural God-given function. We would all live forever if there was no poisons and no toxins, vibrational poison and vibrational toxins that's been beamed into your body right now as we speak. So you entropy and you age not because you are designed to, but because you've been electrical and magnetically engineered. They are routing radio frequencies through the human body. And this was all set up way before you and I got here. The metaverse, the cloud, is a system that prevents you and I from entering into the new heaven and the new earth. So we got to break down, how does your aura or your biosphere, how is this silicon-based EBEs, or engineered biological entities, how do they use technology to engineer your biologics, your biometrics? And so when your boy Billy Gates came out with that patent, and he brought up all the farmland. So now when you go to McDonald's, that's just one. You got lab meat. All of this stuff is designed to affect your crown radiata. That's why they take your skull and your pelvis and your pineal gland, especially if you are an alkebulan, so they can continue to study how your body processes. 9 ether beings are not as affected as 6 ether beings or 3 ether beings. The 9 ether beings are the gods on this planet. Now, there's no 9 ether being that I've bumped into that, or even the black conscious community, it's still promoted as, like my boy Umar Johnson with his King Kong consciousness. There's still no God in there. It's still the ego. Because if you were a 9 ether being conscious of your God, the first thing that you would lead by would be authentic love. There's no way you could say anything about a 3 or a 6 ether being, because what did I do to select? Why am I a 9 ether being? What did I do? I was born a 9 ether being. And I'm probably a copy or a clone of a 9 ether being. Most 9 ether beings are not originals. They're not from the original, I'm going to use the word, they use the word galactic confederation. I like the word, crystalline or crystals or crystals. So there is this divine crystallization. There's a blueprint that you have inside of you. And they know that, so they want to tap into that blueprint. So most people have a spark. Why do we say that we got a spark? Because a spark is just a piece. You don't have the whole. That's the indication, the fact that we drop down into this. So everybody talks about the spark. So if you got the spark, then that means you just got a piece of it. That's a particle. But you are the whole. So the whole idea that even the conscious community, whether it's the black conscious community or no matter what level of consciousness that they have, it's just, as we always talk about on every show, it's just that level. So that level is just a spark. It's just a piece. So how many people have the whole? How many people do you know that has the whole that's attached to source? That you have the entire overstanding of the new heaven and the new earth and the new Jerusalem. So there is this missing science, the missing secret of the electrical magnetic particleization. So since we all have a particle, we have a piece. And so the enemy knows that. So even if we studied the science of cymatics, remember, these books, this information was given to us by the dominant culture. Do you honestly think your captors is going to give you the secret to get out of your own incarceration? Well, I think not. In fact, I know not. So it's very easy for us to tell because none of us can manifest, myself included, with thought. I have thought. As we just talked about in the previous show, intentional thought. That simply means I must consciously select thought. But I can't because of life, just like you. So your life is why you are evil. Evil simply means you're not operating at the highest level of oneness and singularity. But why? We have things to do that cause our attention. I cannot continuously collapse one wave that's the highest frequency. Why not? Well, I'm just like you. I got a wife, got a house, got cars, got kids. We all got shit to do. No one has time. And the devil is not stupid. He set your life up that way. So that way you run out of time before you figure this shit out. Remember, the first 60 years of your life is just research. After you turn 60, then you can take all that shit that you've researched. And then the light started coming on. That's what happened to me. So now I understand all of the old people that used to talk to me. And I used to say, man, get your old ass out of here, man. I ain't listening to you. I ain't listening to no old person. So the old people need the young people, and the young people need the old people. But the young don't listen to the old, and the old don't listen to the young. So all of the shit I'm learning, I'm getting from the young people. Because the young people, they understand technology. They understand that the ancient star map of Egypt and the original human blueprint, That's old people. I mean, that's young people. The young people are tapping into, and they understand that whole, the original blueprint. I'm talking about the original code that's based upon the astronomy, the stars. So the Bible was written in the sky before it was ever written on paper. And the Bible is a dumbed down constellation template that the original architect put in the sky. Now that's getting into the next series, but for this series, I got to show you that those hidden records, that hidden map, that star map that's in the sky, has been hijacked by Saturn. We call Saturn Santa or Satan. Unfortunately, Satan, mathematically, aka gematria, numerologically, is the same thing as what we call Jesus. Same thing as what we call Allah, as we talked about Kabbalah. Look at the word Kabbalah. All of this just hijacks the system. Simply means what? Okay, I'm going to give you a dumbed down version of the original. Since none of us have access to the original because we can't find it in a book. It's written in stars and it's written inside your heart and inside of your gut. So God has not written his laws on tablets of stone any longer. He's written them on the hearts and in the minds of his people. So until you tune in, until you go within, you cannot win. So no matter what we're talking about, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm telling you right now, especially if you are over the age of 60, your life should be spent 100%. You should be obsessed with yourself. You should be doing nothing except learning your own original template, blueprint. You should be unlocking the grand, I'm going to use the word pyramid, the mystery of the star that's written inside of you. That system. That is your own link. So we got to get out of, again, Neuralink. We got to get out of the metaverse. We got to get out of Saturn. We got to get out from underneath Satan. We got to get out from underneath the cross. Because those three frequencies, waves, and vibrations. Now remember, once you get 60, all your research is done. From 0 to 60, all you're doing is just having life experiences. And each of these life experiences is designed to take you to your original blueprint. By the time you're 60, the light should be on. Women usually get there way before men. I'm probably talking about from a masculinity point of view. So from a masculine point of view, the whole point of this series is to prove to you, from looking at your masculinity, that's preventing you from operating inside of your divinity. It is your masculinity. And they are using what they call VanNet. And so the 6G low PAN, it's your PAN stands for Personal Area Network. So I have to destroy the cloud and your digitized version of yourself. There's a digital you. They already got it. It's already operating, and it's operating on the radio frequency of IEEE, which is 802.15.6. A 6, again, is a dumbed down 9. The reason I know all of this stuff because it's inside of my gut. Because now I know that I am a fallen 9. So the biosensors that they use to keep me from a technological perspective, it's a wireless sensory network that runs on the acronym WSN. Technically, from a engineering perspective, it is the frequency of 802.15.5. And so what happens is they are literally running your body with data. That data, you call it your children, you call it your job, you call it, all of that is data. The only way to control matter is with an abundance of data. That's why if you are over the age of 60, you are being flooded with an abundance of data. So they are literally controlling you commercially. So it's commercial control of the body by routing you through a lot of data. This has been going on since 1950, way before that, but they perfected it by giving you what they call feeder grids, which we're going to be breaking down. So during this series, we're going to be going into how am I able, again, if I'm the bad guy. As the bad guy, I can use carrier wave pathogens. Remember that series with the, damn, what was the lady's name? What was that series called? I had a couple, it was the ladies, and she was a lady, and it was crazy because they introduced a virus, wiped out the goal was to wipe out all the population of the world, and she was a clone, but she didn't know she was a clone until she got to the end. It was like 5 parts of it. It's one of the, I forgot the name of it. Man, what's that series called? It was on TV too. That's why I'm thinking about it. In that series, and it's that like female superhero thing where she was going out, but the whole point of it, she was at the end of it. I think it was the 5th episode, and it was like 5 movies that they made, and it's all about basically where we were all basically they want to remove, and if I remember the number they said was 7 billion. And then they put all of the leaders in this cryo chamber, basically cold storage, until they wipe off all of us bottomless feeders. And that was the movie that the whole series was about. But the point of the whole series is they are using carrier waves to bring about a photonic resistance to source by using something called wireless tissue engineering. And to do this, they have to get into your bloodstream. And they do that with, again, the COVID and the jab and the test, because the cotton is not cotton. It's this hollow, these hollow fibers. They are synthetic nanobots. They are self-replicating. Once you put it, they got to put it in your nose because that allow it to cross the blood-brain barrier. That's what dementia is. That's what Alzheimer's is. It just simply means that you are basically been hijacked through this wireless tissue engineering. And so their job is to make sure that you are not able to tap into. And one of the best ways to do it is by creating all of these spike proteins and to download your data at the Utah Data Center to make everybody a part of the cloud. And that's the only way for them to control you with what is called touchless torture. So I don't have to touch you because everything is wireless. This ability to use wireless biosensors where they're able to now use synthetics, because we've all ingested all of these synthetics over the years. And so now these RF, these radio frequencies are able to tap into you using what they call IEEE, which is another word for understanding how phonons and photons or photonics work. But the whole point is to keep you in the cloud. Remember, if you're so heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. So this wireless technology taps into your bone marrow, and it uses and it's carried by your red blood cells into all of it. And inside there are a certain amount they can control what they call your jewels, like your jewelry. Except your jewels, that's what jewels are jewels. Jewels are Joules, not JEW. So jewelry is not shit that you wear around your neck. Jewelry is jewels. Now these dudes are light years, man. You are up against a frequency wave of vibration that's literally called Satan, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, all deities. Joules is a unit of energy. A joule is the international standard. It's the international system of units or units. A unit is a unit. They cutting off your balls and your ovaries. You have no power. They took your jewels. And for the niggas that do got them, you go vote. And you give away your votes, your voltage, your VOLT when you VOTE. So the amount of force that can move mass, or the direct force that's applied, is based upon your jewels. So that's why women collect jewels as jewelry, because it's an external expression of what should be going on internally. Everything that you do externally, that's why you must live. I got to make you live externally so that way I can fuck you internally. That's the system. But you can't tell that. Everybody's too busy. Nobody has time. Your amount of electricity that's required to run your spiritual device, your unit. You are a unit when you have no chi, no prana, no pneuma. So the unit of energy is called joules. Joules. So all joules control all units because they control your energy. Your energy is your inner T. And as we said at the beginning of the show, your inner T is your inner Tesla. Your Tesla. Look at the Tesla. That's what Tesla Motors. That's why Elon Musk has his shit, and it's called Tesla. Because what did Tesla bring to the table? Tesla brought wireless technology. And so what did Charles, my boy Chase Bank and Westinghouse and Eisenhower, Tesla went broke. And they put a meter, and they got all of us on fossil fuels. Tesla was trying to introduce wireless technology, energy, jewelry, jewels. You operating because you are nothing but a walking, talking, breathing energy device. For lack of a better term, your body is not supposed to entropy. The only way that you can entropy is when you do not be. If you do not be authentic, you will entropy. So the more authentic you are, the less you entropy. So the reason that I entropy less than most people has nothing to do with exercise and food and diet, none of that shit. It has to do with my jewels, my jewelry. But it's not Jewry. It's not Jew. It's Joules. It is one unit, but a unit is a unit. It is a unit. A unit has no sexual energy, has no sexual orientation. So the king had no problem putting a bunch of fucking eunuchs around his wives. He know that they had no sexual power. They had no sexual energy. That's why all these niggas walk around here doing this no flap shit and all that. What happened to the sperm cell when it stays inside your nuts, black brother? You should research that shit before you do this no flap. The devil is not stupid. Tell me something that's positive. Just tell me anything. I could destroy it in about 2 seconds. There's nothing positive on this frequency, wave, and vibration. From our definition of positive. Because we don't know what positive means. We think positive has to do with this worldly shit. Positive has to do with your jewels. Your Joules. That's what this fucking series is about. Ain't got nothing to do with this worldly shit. And the devil got everybody, me too. Because he's routing your radio frequency, your jewels, outside of your body. He's siphoning your chi. That's what Saturn is. That's what Satan is. That's what Santa. That's Samael. Samael is the god of dominions. To re-engineer your God, creating, the word creation means creating. The word creature means creating. The word creator means creating. Cretin is a dwarf idiot. A dwarf idiot. Dwarf means stub-born. It means low frequency. An idiot is someone who doesn't have access to gnosis, the knowledge. Cretins. So yeah, be a creator. Be all the shit that we talk about on every show. Everything that we talk about is really for dwarf idiots. So I'm tired of being a dwarf idiot. We all are dwarf idiots because we all regurgitating the same shit that we find in books. So this series you won't find in no book. This series now, no, I shouldn't even be doing the series because you got to find this shit out on your own. But for the few bright bulbs that just at least want to know what you should be doing while you're on this frequency, which is what? Going within. But you shouldn't even be listening to me. I'm just telling you, I'm going to tell you for 3 days, 4 days, I'm going to write a whole book that tells you to listen to yourself. But I'm going to tell you how to listen to yourself. How to get into Tikkun Olam. Tikkunolam. Yeah, Google that. This whole world is it's crazy. It should be, though. The universe is a university. That's why you're here, though. It ain't bad. It ain't good. It just is. That's the whole point. The whole point is for you to get to the point, for you to get to the place where you just question the nature of your reality. That's what I'm doing. That word TIKKUNOLAM is a phrase that means repairing the word or repairing the world. It refers to, again, under open understanding that the Kaaba, spirit, soul, Allah, is the spirit and soul of Allah. But Allah and Yahushua, they're both the same from a Jewish over, under, and understanding. And so Saturn and Satan, they're like Jesus and Satan, from a numerology perspective, the numbers, they add up to be exactly the same. So when we understand that you're supposed to be, or you are responsible for change, improvement, and fixing your own frequency. Now, let me say that again. That's what that phrase means. It means that something needs to be returned to its original state. Now, the frequency, wave, and vibration that makes you a unique or a unit because of a lack of jewelry or jewels or JOULES, which is the science of energy. But energy means inner T. And the inner T means your inner Tesla. And Tesla is code for testament or Teslo. Look at the word Tesla. So there is a frequency wave of vibration that you are testing low, too low. So this is a electrical magnetic telecommunication attack. How? Remote control covert transhumanism. So I need to it's like transgender. I'm transferring. So transhumanism is the creation of the cyborg or a biological robot slave. So we are all biological robot slaves. They use now biology to fuck about theology and our theology to fuck about cosmology. So that when you become a cyborg or you become a precision AI-driven device. And this precision artificial intelligence replace your authentic. So this electronic, cognitive, net-centric warfare is called Maven. We're going to break that down in the series, MAVEN. We're going to also break down Project Salus, SALUS. We break down Project Pegasus. All of these is under the Joint Chiefs of Staff or DOD. This is touchless torture. This is remote control, guard, or voice to skull, or what they call a guard weapon. So that way I make sure I can use synthetic telecommuting to download my instructions using 060606 cryptocurrency biometric body activity controlling through under the skin surveillance by using biosensors and body nanotechnology by using electrical magnetic frequencies or what they call W-band or WBAN technology. That's connected to what they call cube satellites. So this, remember, all this shit was developed. This is called metamaterials or nanomaterials in the 1920s. They perfected it in the 50s. Where you think they're at right now? This is 2023. We're getting ready to go into 2024. So Operation Solace breaks down the DOD C2TWS system. We're going to break that down. So all of these acronyms is to throw you off course so that way you don't really tap into the true TI program. Operation Creststone or Christ Stone. It is the interface religious mind behavior control device developed in 1980. So they use religion as a control device, especially for Negroes, because we got the worship gene, or we love to worship shit. But we don't like to do. We like to worship, because worship doesn't require action. Nothing happens until you get up off the sofa and take action. So they know that too, so that's what they're going to do. Well, they're going to make sure that the action that you take only benefit you and your foe and no more. Remember, the level of source code involvement in your life is determined by the level of how your life affects other people. If what you're doing affects a small group of people, then there's a small connection to source. If what you do affects a large group of people, then there's a larger connection to source. This is how you galvanize energy inside of the frequencies, waves of vibration, and get out of the cloud, get out of the metaverse. So this metaverse, this whole series, we're going to really delve into, especially, wireless tissue engineering. In order for them to control you, they got to tap into your tissue. They got to control you wirelessly. And this involves, again, energy harvesting by using what I mentioned before, which is 6-pan biophotonics and biophononics. That's how they control your biofield or your aura or your ether through wireless tissue engineering. So we got to delve into that. But we're not going to spend too much time in the technological aspects of it. But I want to give you enough information so that way if you want to go and research out of this, how these nanoparticles are affecting and changing your electrical magnetic field or your aura. So that way if you want to do further research, we need to give you all of the government stuff so that way you can understand, like, the food, the reason that it's changing is because they come out with something called biofuel that affects your thyroid field. Remember, your body produces its own energy. Unless I can change the body to run off artificial energy. That's what a graphene or graphite is. That's what the jab is about. So the whole jab is about perfecting how do I control your jewels. So the Jews are jewels. Jews are Jews. The JEWSs, they control JOULES. That's the whole point of them. I'm doing that term because they're connected to the Luciferian, Saturn, Satan, cloud, metaverse, cube, cross. All of this is all part of the same frequency, same wave, same verbiage. So they use the same verbs to activate, to control, or to have full dominance over your nerves. That's what the system, that's what Project Maven, MAVEN, is about. That was established back in 2017, if I remember. Because the whole point is to, again, allow for the intelligence agencies to take over all of the AI controlling of what they call human augmentation with stuff, but it's all wireless. All of these towers and all of this frequency stuff that's going on is to bring about total control over your frequencies, your waves, and your vibrations. That's the point. So now my job is to make you aware. Remember, These frequencies, they don't like awareness. They like to operate in the occult realm, in the unseen realm. So if it is seen, if they can see, if you can see, then that affects that affects their chi. The only way that it works is for them to operate in covert. So my job is to expose and expand so that way you can literally see for yourself the frequencies, waves, and vibrations that they operate in. That's called awareness. That's called expansion. That's 90% of the job. 90% of overcoming the low vibrational frequencies, waves, and vibrations is awareness. That just simply means that by me making you aware of it, whether you implement or do anything about it, I did my job. I'm unlocking the power for you to use intentional thought, for you to wake up and to make a selection by saying, you know what, I'm going to study cymatics. So I know that sound influences matter. And the way that sound influences matter is through what we call data. So I'm going to be aware of, okay, what data am I listening to? So that controls the cells, that controls the molecular structure inside of the human body. So it is through cymatics, which is the study of the invisible realm of vibration. And when we look at even the word cymatics comes from a Greek word, kuma, A-U-M-A, which means to billow or to wave. So cymatics is a study of waves. Now remember, according to science, God, the universe, source, the ether is a wave. So cymatics is a study of how God affects your matter using data. So we got to get out of 4D cube. We got to go up to a 9 chi instead of 4D. We got to get up to 9. Some of us are born with 9D or 9 chi. We call those people alkebulons. Now there's 0 alkebulons that I'm aware of that understand 9 chi. What is the evidence that you're walking in 9 chi? Well, you have more problems, but you have more peace. So you know you're in 9 chi. You know, if you are living, come on, man, if you are living in an environment, if you are like in the wild, if there's an albino tiger born in the wild, or a lion, all the other lions attack it. It cannot capture no food and no prey because it stands out. It doesn't blend in. Lions are the color that they are so they can blend in with their so if there's a white tiger or a white lion born in all the other lions look at it and be like, is it even the mother lion, everyone is very rare when a mother gives birth to an albino tiger or something in the wild, but number one, even care for it. All the males attack it. And then it can't hunt because it can't sneak up on nobody because everybody can see it. So it's like stands out because it's so different. That's how you know that you are a non-ether being. It's always that. That's why I don't care where you go in the world. If you got melanin in your skin, you are fucking attacked. You are under that. And half the niggas don't even know. That's what's craziest thing. Now, we're not supposed to, remember, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. This is a cosmo feedback mechanism. So the way that it works is for you to be comfortable being uncomfortable. The way that it works, remember, comfort is a fast track to entropy. The more comfortable you are, the faster you age. Let me say that again slowly. Comfort is a precursor to death. Growth is not comfortable, but growth is peaceful. Because growth means that even though you're in the midst of adversity, You over understand something because there's a feeling that you have. You may not be able to put it into words. Remember, I'm talking about, okay, how do you know? And I'm talking about the color of your skin, and I'm about the color of your spirit, if we want to call it, if we want to use the word color. Remember, because as black people, especially for us out of keeping on, we put a lot of emphasis on, black power and black. White folks do the same thing for their race. I mean, we all do. But that's not what we should be doing. We should be looking at what? Jewels, the jewelry. Joules, the unique. But you are measured whether or not you are a eunuch or not. You're a eunuch, that's how they measure you. Are you a eunuch? Have your sexual parts been removed? Has your ability to, because remember, the most powerful energy on this planet, bar none, is sex. Why do you think they got niggas walking around here taking vows of celibacy? Why does everybody struggle in that area? Not everybody, but a lot of people. And that's the reason why is because that is the most important frequency, wave of vibration on the planet. So that's the whole purpose of the next series. Remember the cost down, I think it's we are at the 297 level, or I sent it to you guys in the link already. So I think today's the last day to get in a little under the regular price of 297. But again, just remember, this series is to get us out of the creation, to get us out of the creator, to get us out of the creating stage and get us into the being stage. Just be. The ideal that you need to create, the ideal that you need to do something, the ideal that that's an indication that there's something wrong, that you deep down inside of you, you got the Machiavellian complex. We got the Simon Boy Jonas. We got the Yahushua. We got the Al-Kibilon. We are in still, which is not bad. It's a good place to be. So we are in the remembering the tablet stage. We're still in the stage of the, Saul, who became known as Paul, the self-proclaiming stage. Nothing wrong with it. Let's keep it real. There's nothing wrong with it. But eventually, like usually it happens after you get, turn 60, you like, okay, I've done much research. And then after that, then you go to a whole other level now. You get to what they call the WMN stage. And you start to operate on a whole new place where you are past proof. You're past needing or desiring to do something to prove. Now you just be to exude. You get out of, I got to do something so I can prove. And now you just be. You just exude. You now are a son. You're God. You are a generator, operator, and director. You emit way more frequency, waves, and vibrations than you consume or take in. So, brothers and sisters, this is the first intro. We'll do one more intro because I think we got today's 29th. Remember, it starts on the first. This is the intro to the first series or the first book, Cloud, Cube, Cross. Tomorrow we'll do another intro, and we'll introduce the series after that one because I decided to divide it up. That'll break down the New Jerusalem, the New Heaven, and the New Earth. How about you guys? Love you, and you can do about it. We'll see you mañana. God bless.